just wanted to talk about long distance relationships. Honestly, I haven't had that much experience with relationships in general in my life, but most recently I was in a long distance relationship with this girl I met on a dating app, and I guess I just wanted to talk about it. I don't think anyone will listen to this. I really doubt anyone will hear anything that I'm saying right now, but it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to talk about it anyway. So I met this girl in April. Honestly, I was new to the whole dating apps thing, and at the time I was 18. So I never used an app like that before, but she was my first match. She liked me and sent me a message, like, just was like, hey, or something simple. And I was like, hey, and then it just kind of went from there. And we chatted for, I don't know, a while, but it escalated pretty quickly. And in the sense that we could both tell that we liked each other. It was obvious that we both liked each other very much. She thought I was cute. I thought she was cute. Her personality was just really, I don't know. We just really clicked, you know, we really worked. It's hard to find someone that you just click with. At least for me, it's been hard to find someone to click with that I've clicked with. But for us, it was so easy and so quick. I feel like we could just tell from the start that there was something here. And we lived pretty far away from each other. She lived in the Philippines and I live in the US. So like, that's like 7,000 miles there, you know, pretty far. But at first, I didn't really think about it. And then as time went on and I started to catch more real feelings, the reality of the situation really started hitting me when we talk and I'd have to sleep because it was 2 in the morning for me, but for her it was like 3 p.m. or something. And when for me, I just woke up, like it was like 8 in the morning, and for her it was like 12 a.m. Like it was 12 at night. And I'd really miss her. And I'd remember sometimes, I'd miss her so much, it would hurt. Like I would feel it in my chest. I would feel just this extreme sadness that I couldn't see her, be with her, you know, hear her voice in real time, or just be next to her. I would just feel so sad and I would cry. And it would be heartbreaking. Just thinking about how far away we really were. Eventually we did get on to talking about logistics, you know. She talked about, she was very forward with her feelings. She was the first one to say I love you. She asked me early on, actually. She asked me to promise not to leave her. And I did. And at the time, I didn't feel that way for her. You know, I didn't feel those strong feelings of like love for her at that time when I said that I'd never leave her. But I knew that eventually, like if we stayed together as long as she was with me, I knew eventually I'd develop those feelings for her because I knew I liked her and I was really feeling something. I just wasn't at that point where my feelings were so strong that I'd say something like that on my own. But she asked me to promise and I did. And in turn, she promised me that she'd never leave me, which I thought was kind of strange, because it was really early on. It was like a week or two into the relationship, where she was like, "Oh, I promise I'll never leave you." But it was something I never heard before. So yeah, I don't know. I was stupid. Um, and she would talk. She would make jokes. She was really, really funny. Really, really flirty too. She really knew how to flirt. um, she was so funny. And she would joke about how I was her ideal everything. She said, like, I was her ideal boyfriend. I was her ideal husband. I was her ideal everything. And she'd talk about how in the past she'd been with other guys and like they just wouldn't treat her right. Or they just wouldn't give her the attention that she gave them. They would never reciprocate those feelings or that time that she invested in them. And that she'd been praying, like she'd been hoping, wishing, just waiting for someone to come along, someone that would love her the way that she loved others. And she said that I was that person that she was waiting for. I was that person that she had been hoping for, and I was finally here, she was just so happy because she thought that I was the person who she'd been hoping for, because I gave her so much attention and so much love that I genuinely felt for her. So she was really vocal about telling me how much she loved me and was happy that we were together. And she would talk about me going over there to visit her and our future and having kids and living on the beach and drinking wine and watching stars and holding hands and all that stuff. Obviously, I would talk about it too, but she was the one who always brought that stuff up first. So I knew I was in love with her, and when I miss her, it hurt, physically hurt me. So I started saving up money, and I started making plans to go see her. I wanted it to be in summer, like June, July this year, but I thought that was too unrealistic because I wouldn't have enough time to save that much money. So I thought maybe more realistically in like December or January, when there weren't be any classes for college, because I'm in college. But then I was thinking, like, I don't know, because Christmas, I don't think my family would want me to leave to the Philippines for Christmas, They probably want me to stay. So I thought then maybe the latest I would go would be summer 2024. And I did my research and I calculated how much money I would need, realistically speaking, to go over there for 2 weeks or so. And it came up to around $4,070. So not that much, but not that little, it's nothing to scoff at for me, So I started saving up, and I was getting closer to that goal really quickly, actually. I would have had around $2,100 something in July, early July, around $2,000. But I was saving up, and we started doing voice calls and sending voice messages. And she just had the cutest voice, like the sweetest voice. She would always get really shy sending voicemails or voice messages. And she would always be like, "I'm sorry about my voice. I know it sounds raspy or sore." And I never really understood why she said that. Cause I always like I never heard that sort of raspiness in her voice. I liked her voice. I thought it was really endearing, you know. It was really sweet. I really liked her voice. Afterwards, like, you know, in hindsight, like I can hear the raspiness now, but in the moment, like at the time, I didn't hear anything. Like, her voice was just perfect to me. And who took calls? I remember this one call. She was at her school, and she had talked to her friends about me, and for me it was like, I think it was like 2 in the morning for me. For her it was like 5 p.m. or something. I don't know, maybe 3 p.m. But she was in school, and her friends were like all around her, like a bunch of, just a group of friends. Like she called me to say goodnight. It's one of the first calls we did, and she was like, "Good night, I love you," and I was like, "Good night, I love you too." And when I said I love you too, like all her friends, all the girls, maybe there was some guys, but like just her girls, all the girls on the other side of the phone, just like, you know, they screamed so loud. They were like actual banshees. Like it was really funny. A little scary. It was like a jump scare. Like it was a little scary. Like my headphones. It was kind of painful, but it was just mostly really endearing and really funny and really cute and really sweet, and just, it was funny how they were all screaming because I said I love you. Yeah, so I really remember that. And then I remember we had a couple more calls after that. But her parents were kind of strict with her calling me. So we had to sneak calls. She'd have to do it whenever her parents weren't home, or like when she was out. Yeah, so it was really hard to talk on the phone because her parents didn't like it. But we found ways to do it. And it was really great for a bit. Like, we were just in love. I don't know, like, it was like, I don't know if you've seen, there's like these, I saw this, like, I don't have TikTok, but on a YouTube video or something, like there was this, or I don't know, maybe it was YouTube short or something, but there was like this video, this short TikTok type short video, where it's like, the girl who's never been treated right and the boy who's never been loved finally find each other, kind of thing. And I was like, I feel like that's what we kind of were. Like, I have really bad social anxiety. I've had it for, I don't know, 5-6 years, ever since I was 13. And because of that, I've never really had a good opportunity to meet people. I've never had a really good chance to develop any sort of close friendships or relationships. So meeting her was just incredible. And I'm not the type of person who believes in ghosts or superstitions or anything like that. You know, I'm a man of science. I believe in facts. I believe in evidence. I believe in, I believe in science. But being with her, just everything about her, I really did, for a second there, believe in soulmates. I really did think we were soulmates. 2 yellow hearts. She was my other half, you know? It's all a little silly to say out loud now in hindsight, but that was how I felt. I was just so in love with her, and I could tell that she was so in love with me. And I thought that we would be together forever. Which again was naive of me, but I didn't know any better. And she always constantly was reminding me that she would never leave. She was constantly promising to stay forever. She was constantly reassuring me and saying, I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. So of course I believed her. I believed her with all my heart. And then one night we got into this really deep, not deep, but more detailed conversation about the logistics of me traveling to the Philippines to visit her. And I talked about the money I'd saved and the plan, and just like how I wanted to see her by the latest next summer. And she started getting all coy and shy and being like, I don't know if I really want to do that, you know? Like, she kind of gave off the vibes that she didn't want me to come that soon, that it was too soon for her. She was saying, like, maybe in 2 or 3 years we'd meet up, and that was like when she said that, I was like, what? I thought, like, you were talking about like December too, like you were saying how much you wanted to see me now, you know, like, what do you mean 2 or 3 years? I thought we were on the same page about wanting to see each other as soon as possible. And then after that conversation, things got a little rocky until eventually, not on my birthday, but 2 days after my birthday, on the day that my family celebrated my birthday, she broke up with me. She said that it was. She said that it wasn't my fault. She said she did the whole, she did the it's not you, it's me thing. So she just said how she wasn't really ready for a real relationship, a real committed relationship, and that she just wanted to find herself and take some time to just figure out her own stuff by herself. She wanted to be alone, and that she just couldn't be with me, and that she was really sorry, and that I shouldn't blame myself because it wasn't my fault. It was her fault. And at the time, I was shocked. I mean, I thought we were good, you know. She was all about me, and then one conversation, that one conversation just kind of threw everything off for some reason, and it shouldn't have, because I thought we were on the same page. But then that conversation just kind of crumbled everything. And I was confused for a while, a couple months. I was confused, and I didn't get what had really happened. I didn't get why it had to end. I just needed some closure, and that wasn't it. Because after that, I tried to say a couple more things. I wanted to stay friends, you know, I wanted to stay in contact, but she blocked me. She deleted her accounts. She blocked me on everything, you know, like she just completely ghosted me after that. And at first, I tried not to I didn't want to look her up because, you know, it'd be bad for my mental health. She already said she didn't want to be with me. About a month after the breakup, I just couldn't deal with it. So I tried to look her up, and I found nothing. And then another month later, I did the same thing. I found a little bit of something, you know, I found a tiny bit of something, but I didn't find her. And then about maybe 2 weeks later, I tried again. I ended up finding her on Facebook, and it was heartbreaking, shocking. I don't know. It was infuriating. It was wild, but it did give me closure. It turns out she had been lying to me about her name and her age, and about where she was going to go to college, and about just so many things. was just insane to me to find out that she had been lying about all that stuff the whole time. She knew that she was lying about that stuff. She knew that, things would have probably never worked out between us. And she still chose to pursue me. And she still chose to tell me all these things. Fill my head with fantasies and dreams of a life that would never, ever be mine. And I know, it seems so fucked up. It just seems so fucked up to do that to somebody. And maybe it's because I don't have the best self-esteem. But I find it hard to stay mad at people. That was my experience with a long distance online relationship. Would I ever get in one again? Honestly, knowing me, I'm pretty naive, I'm pretty gullible, I'm pretty easily manipulated. And if someone tells me something positive or like, I love you, I'm pretty easily convinced to just do whatever they want. So, honestly, I think I would. Realistically, I probably would. If someone liked me and they were like online long distance, I would probably be like, yeah, I'm in love with them, so I don't care, I'm in love, so